Chapter 55. Rielle and Hyun-Ki's much-needed space. Rielle had settled into a new life as an independent working girl. She found a small apartment, a one-bedroom flat, and was ready to face bravely new challenges that might come her way. And she was happy. The following morning, she checked out of the hotel and happily moved into her new place. She felt pleased and contented, for at last, she could start a new life, depending on no one but herself only. Her new neighbors came to her place and welcomed her warmly, giving her food. After a small chit-chat with her neighbors and left, she called up her mom. "Hello, Mom. I've settled here, found my apartment, and soon had a job as a bank teller. Independence is the start of a new life for me, Mom. So please be happy and keep away from worries. I can take care of myself. Oh, my baby. I'm not used to not having you around here, and you could not blame me if I sometimes feel sad and worried about you. You are still so young," Rielle interrupted. "Mom, I'm an adult now, and I almost got married, didn't I? Just relax and take away your fears. I am at peace now and can breathe freely without worrying about anything." Then Mrs. Kama asked about Hyun-Ki. "Don't tell a thing about me, please," begged Rielle. "I'll try to call you often, so please, Mom, take all your worries and fears about me. I'll say goodbye now, Mom, and give my hugs and kisses to Zia and Donna. Goodbye for now, Mom," and both disconnected their call. She was full of herself when she remembered something. Having thought of the scene by the poolside at the resort, Rielle opened her laptop and wondered, why was there no news of Hyun-Ki's engagement? He was a celebrated bachelor businessman, so it was impossible that there would be no news of his engagement, and then Rielle remembered, yes, why didn't I think about that? He indeed got engaged in his country. She closed her laptop, and tears again welled in her eyes. Feeling hurt and grief started to overcome her. It was my fault. I turned my back on him because of Hwan-Chul, because of this amnesia. I wished I never regained my consciousness. Was I a sour grape? Then thinking back, she thought, if I got married to Hwan-Chul, had I been happier than when I was with Hyun? Rielle looked up at her ceiling and stared into nothingness. Then slowly, her eyes became heavier by the minute, until she fell asleep. Likewise, Hyun-Ki was determined to be firm about his decision to stay entirely away from Rielle. There were painful memories he wanted to forget or bury forever since he failed to win Rielle back. Back at the hotel resort, Hyun-Ki finally braced himself. He decided not to get in touch with Rielle anymore. Since they made their closure official before Rieelle's marriage to his brother Hwan-Chul, he had no more responsibility for Rielle. It is high time for him to move on despite the cancellation of her wedding with Hwan-Chul. He felt that he got tired chasing over Rielle, and all Hyun-Ki knew by himself was to forget her for good, find another woman with whom Hyun-Ki could share his life. Hyun-Ki decided not to return to the metropolis since he left his post anyway. He came to the subsidiary office, gathered all his officers, and announced, "I am putting all my resources in this subsidiary office and intend to turn it into a corporate headquarters. A new CEO in charge appointed by the board members will run the metropolis main office until I decide to return. So, while I am here, I need everyone's cooperation and effective coordination of all my decisions and policies to run this business smoothly. And another thing, the VP of Marketing and his people and my team will join me in this endeavor because I want our product lines to be known and popular in this city." Everyone applauded Hyun-Ki simultaneously with the coming in of the VP, Hwan-Chul. He shook hands and gave a quick hug to Hyun-Ki, his brother. Then he faced the officers of the company, smiled, and bowed. Hyun-Ki and Hwan-Chul walked together to Hyun's office and talked. "Hyung, thank you for giving me another chance and forgiving me," Hyun-Ki interrupted. "Hey, we are brothers, Chul. Don't forget that. Whatever happened among us was a test of blood and love. I have no regrets, so forget it. Let us move on," chirped Hyun-Ki. "But what happened to you and Rielle? I thought the two of you reconciled," asked Hwan-Chul curiously. "Our stay in the resort was a mere fluke. We were unaware that we were both there at the same time, and we didn't have a chance to meet. But I felt she saw me with Sarah at the poolside because she was in haste to get out of the resort, and Sophia told me that Rielle had booked for a 2-week vacation, but she didn't complete that. When Benny and I checked the CCTV, Rielle was there. I believed she was the lady in a sarong standing not so far from us, moving slowly away. Having seen me with Sarah, whose arms wrapped around me, could have hurt her, so she ran away from me, and I have never heard from her since. I called her mom, but Mrs. Kama said that she had never returned yet, and I know that was what Rielle wanted, so I am giving both of us space, Hyun-Chul felt sorry for Hyun-Ki and Rielle and blamed himself for breaking them apart. Meanwhile, Rielle was getting ready for work. She received a text message from the personnel department yesterday telling her to report for the orientation and training. The training officer gathered all the newly hired bank tellers in the conference room for their exposure. Each one introduced themselves. The tellers were astonished about Rielle's work experience, and each wondered why she chose to be a teller rather than an executive secretary. Rielle just gave a polite smile and sat. During their break time, Natalie approached Rielle and renewed her introduction to Rielle. "Hi, could we be friends? I understand you were a stranger to this city, but I could help you go places you want to see if you wish." "Of course, Natalie, I would like that. I still made no friends yet, and you were the first." "Nice having you as my friend," Rielle reciprocated. For Rielle, Natalie was a charming person, straightforward but curious, graceful, and plain but charming. She was thin and had delicate hands that when Rielle held her hand, it would seem to break. Nevertheless, Natalie was bubbly, none a dull moment with her. "If you are new here, how did you come to this city? Has your family moved here?" wondered Natalie. "No, I went for a vacation to one of the resorts here to take a breather, to think. You see, I resigned from work because I felt burnt out, so when I came here, I was attracted to this place, and I thought of trying a fresh start. So here I was," Rielle explained, grinning. "If your job burned you out, finding a better job there could be easier, but why move away from your family? Were you running away from someone? Did your boyfriend disillusion you that you wanted to stay away from him? From your memories about him?" Natalie was explicitly stubborn about knowing. Rielle stared at her for the longest time and was speechless. Natalie's constant questioning made Rielle misty-eyed. "I'm so sorry. Have I troubled you with my ceaseless questioning?" Rielle smiled shyly. "It's all right, Natalie. I have nothing more to say. Let us leave it at that. Can we have dinner tonight? I'm still not used to eating alone. I could treat you, although not in an expensive restaurant." "You mean, you are eating in restaurants alone? Can't you cook?" "Wow, you might be a rich kid," Natalie said jokingly. "I know how, but I don't have a fondness for cooking yet, and I still have to process my thoughts on what to cook." "Will you eat with me tonight before we go home?" asked Rielle. "Sure. Let's have dinner tonight," Natalie affirmed. A month have passed. Rielle was already proficient in her work as a bank teller. Then one morning, the bank supervisor assigned Rielle to the savings account service desk with Natalie. Rielle was enjoying her job when a client came in. The bank security assisted him when he told the security he wished to open an account. So the guard instructed him to tap and get his number, and his ticket led him to number 2, Rielle's desk. The client took his seat, surprised at meeting Rielle. Rielle was likewise more than surprised. Hyun-Chul was sitting in front of her, and both were speechless, long staring at each other. Then Hyun-Chul gleefully announced, "I am surprised." "How long have you been staying here?" Rielle asked Hyun-Chul, incredibly impressed by Rielle's courage in living alone far from her family. "I've been here for more than a month now." "How about you? Why are you here?" asked Rielle in a low tone, her eyes glancing at her side where Natalie sat. "Well, I was here nearly a month, but Hyun-Ki was here longer than I had. I think nearly the same as yours." "Haven't you met him?" Rielle Hyun-Chul asked, pretending to know nothing. "This is not the right time to ask such questions, Chul." "Why are you here?" repeated Rielle, somehow irritated. "What question is that?" "I am here to open an account," Hyun-Chul grinned. Unknown to Rielle, Natalie was observing them when Hyun-Chul stood before her with a surprised look. She could not hold her curiosity, so she asked in a curious, low voice, "It seemed you'd known each other for a long time. Was he your boyfriend?" Rielle and in unison, both exclaimed, "No," and laughed it out. Would Hyun-Chul tell Hyun-Ki that she found Rielle? Was there still a chance for Rielle and Hyun-Ki to reconcile? Keep following me on my YouTube channel and TikTok for the Windows of the Heart series with more exciting episodes. Thank you.